think we're live.
Preparing to live stream the meeting, setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. Can you say whether we are live?
We're live.
I think we are live. Preparing to live stream the meeting. Set up your meeting for YouTube Live. Yeah. Let's. Can you say whether we are live?
We're live.
I think we are live. I think we are live. Okay. Let's start the meeting then.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome Rituparna. Welcome to Sandpaper-Academy's YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Ashmita.
Thank you. Just hold on a second. I'll just do one thing. Let's start the meeting then. Yeah, I will silence the main thing. No, let duta sound ole. Yeah, okay. Now, now we will be doing it in peace. So I'll say again, start from the top. Welcome Rituparna to Sandpaper-Academy's YouTube channel. And today we are having this talk that we every Sunday আমি একটু plan কৰি আছো যে we will talk to toppers and we will know যে তেওঁলোকে কেনেকুৱা journey এটা traverse কৰি পেলাই আজি এজন successful officer হৈ তেওঁলোকে নিজৰ postত hold কৰি আছে so that আমাৰ যোনসকল current আৰু future aspirants আছে they also have a hang of how things work out. So মই এটা brief introduction দি দিওঁ আজি আমাৰ toppers talker guest হয় Rituparna Das, a very dear friend of mine and ACS rank 62 APSC CC 2019. She is currently circle officer and executive magistrate of Boroma Revenue Circle. So Rituparna, thank you for giving us your precious time.
Thank you so much, Ashmita. I'm so glad to be a part of this guest talk.
Thank you. So Rituparna, we will start from interview first, okay? Why? Because just interview 13 November পৰা start হৈ আছে. So যেতিয়া interview start হৈ আছে, a lot of people will like to first understand যে interview operate কেনেকে হয়. Because এতিয়া internet is crowded with a lot of sources. So এতিয়া we will first understand from a topper's perspective how things went out. So how were the questions in your interview?
All right. Starting with I had 3 panelists and everyone was good. At first, of course, I'm nervous, but then things they make you feel at ease. Questions more. I can talk only about myself, although there is it's a huge plethora of things from which they can ask you questions. In my case, I'll not make this a very formal talk. Let's keep it very casual. They asked me a lot of questions, starting with firstly, it was just introduction as to your name and whosoever you have at home, what's your educational background, and then they started with a few questions on current affairs. It was Sabrimala Tetya bahut choli asile, and that was the question that juntu Supreme Court a judgment disile, do I support it or not? So teneke du eta proshno khudile ar tar pisot they asked me a few questions. As the interview progressed, they figured out that my history was weak. So they stuck on to history questions. So a lot of, and my weakest subject is history. So other than that, they also asked me questions related to Assam. বহুত বেলেগ ধৰণৰ প্ৰশ্ন মোক এখন কুকবুকৰ কথা সুধিছিলে কোনে লিখিছিলে তেনেকে কিছুমান খুব পুৰণি গান সুধিছিলে কোনে লিখা মোক গান গাবও দিছিলে তো জানা নেকি মানে গুণগুণাব পাৰিবা নেকি এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ so like that overall it was I wouldn't call it a very good interview but মই এটা কথা ক'ব পাৰো যে মোৰ ইন্টাৰভিউত মোক যিমানখিনি প্ৰশ্ন কৰিছিলে more subject based questions nasile. It was mainly current affairs and Assam. এই
So
দুটা বস্তু more interview was mostly like my questions were primarily from current affairs and Assam.
আপোনাক যেতিয়া এই সাবৰিমালাৰ ইস্যুটো সুধিছিলে তেতিয়া আমি একদম we have to speak our mind যে actually আমি কি ভাবো নে আমি কিবা এটা মানে এটা moderated answer আমি কৈছিলো at that time?
It is always better if you have a moderated answer, but I already মই already fixated asilu at a point of view, which later on, however, I had to dilute to make things because one of the panelists was not, no, he was
An
asking me,
agreement.
yeah, agreement, and he was asking me questions over and over again. And I think because I stood my ground on very and very legitimate grounds, which were not based on any frivolous or very, um, I would say, plastic
Basis.
assumptions. Yeah. So I think I kind of sort of at last, I managed it
Made it
well.
through.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Made through.
Made through. আপোনাৰ কাৰেণ্ট এফেয়াৰ্স বেসড যে কোৱেশ্চনবোৰ সুধিছিলে সেইবিলাক আপুনি প্ৰিপেয়াৰ আগৰ পৰা কৰি গৈছিলে নে দে কেম এজ এ সাৰপ্ৰাইজ?
See, যেতিয়া ইন্টাৰভিউ কাৰণে আমি যাওঁ তেতিয়া অলৰেডি উই নো that current affairs or প্ৰায় প্ৰশ্ন সুধিব, so সেইটো কাৰণে I was already prepared. মই কোনো mock interview লোৱা নাছিলো, কিন্তু by the virtue of the fact that I was already into the habit of reading newspapers, and by the time if you have cleared mains, you have already developed an analytical mind by then already. So মই নাজানিছিলো যে ক'ৰ পৰা সুধিব, but I had এটা আইডিয়া আছিলে যে এনেকুৱা এনেকুৱা টপিকৰ পৰাই প্ৰশ্নবিলাক সুধিব. So Sabrimala's question did not come as a surprise to me.
So we need to be updated যোনটো current affairs হৈ আছে at least by newspapers and others. আৰু opinion based question বোৰ বেছিকে সুধা যেন লাগে, মোৰ টাইমতো হেনেকুৱাই হৈছিলে.
Opinion based, of course. What's your opinion? And I think one can have his or her own opinion, but সেইটো কিন্তু you should also know how to moderate, like itu keneke jodi in case if there is a friction or the person in front of you doesn't agree, so how you channel your words to make
him
so that,
agree to me for a certain degree.
yeah
Yes.
that should be there. So I think I managed.
Okay. So যেতিয়া আমি ডিসএগ্রিমেন্টত আহো তেতিয়া আমি এক্সেপশনাল ডিসএগ্রিমেন্টত গুছি যাব নালাগে, we should কিবাকে মিলাই we should say something in the middle.
Yeah.
So that আমাৰ কথাটোও থাকি যায় আৰু ইন্টাৰভিউৰ কথাটোও থাকি যায়.
Yes.
But আপুনি কি ভাবে যেতিয়া আমাক because they will tend to grill us no কিবা কিবি আমাক সুধিব, then we should move away from our opinion নে যেনেকে how you set your ground in Sabrimala, we should set at least a little bit.
I think we should set our ground. That's my personal belief, because that is also a sign of integrity.
Yes.
That is that shows that you are true to your thoughts, beliefs, and whatever it is. That's, I think, a sign of your integrity.
And that is something required as in a civil servant.
Of course, distractions might come, but then you need to stand your ground. Of course, again, for all it's examination, so you cannot go to a বহুত বেছি to disagreement of jabon mari boardor logot, but you have to stand your ground.
And what about the language? আপোনাক কি ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজত ইন্টাৰভিউ সুধিছিলে?
মোক তেওঁলোকে অসমীয়াতে সুধিছিলে, but given the fact that I was more comfortable in answering in English, মই তেওঁলোকক ক'লো যে মই ইংৰাজীত উত্তৰ দিলে বেয়া হ'ব নেকি, তেওঁলোকে যি মোক পাৰমিশন দিলে তেতিয়া মই ইংৰাজীতে ক'লো.
মানে এনেকে পারমিশন খুজিলে they say yes or no on that and there's no hard down about it.
তেওঁলোকে ইউজুৱেলি no নকয়, কিন্তু মই ভাবো যে দুই তিনিটা ভাষাত কোৱাতকৈ এটা ভাষাত কোৱাই ভাল. অসমীয়াত ক'লেও ধৰক কিছুমানটো few words will obviously be in English, কিছুমান বস্তুৰ ট্ৰান্সলেশনটো নাথাকে, কিন্তু খুব বেছি অসমীয়া ইংলিছ এটা মিক্স কৰি ক'লে it doesn't really give a good impression. I believe it's better to stick to one language. Yeah, very unstable. It's better to stick to one language.
I'll ask you one question because আমি mock interview লোৱা 3 দিন হ'ল. So I'm of one opinion and students have come with a different opinion and সেইটো কাৰণে I thought I will take a third opinion. What do you think? যেতিয়া আমাক interviewer question সুধি থাকে আৰু যেতিয়া আমি answer দিব লাগে, we should look at the interviewer or we should keep looking at the whole board while answering the question? What did you do? When I looked at the one person only.
I think my answers were pointed towards the person who asked me the questions,
Yes, same.
not towards everybody.
Everybody.
Because anyway, all 3 or 4 of them will be asking you questions anyway. So whosoever asks you the question, I think your answer should be directed to that
To
person.
the person. It looks like you are paying full attention to the
To that
examiner.
person, yes.
হা
Right.
নহলে পিছত ভাবিব কি কিয় বেলেগক চাই আছে কিয় বেলেগক পাত্তা দি আছে মোক কিয় দিয়া নাই
But that is also another thing is when you're looking towards another person, it is also like you're seeking validation from the other person, and it shows that you are not confident enough.
yes totally
It's
agree.
it's
I
better.
said the same thing to the students I had mock মানে যা কালি মই ইন্টারভিউ ললো I told them you are looking shifty. You're looking here, you're looking there, and again, side you are looking shifty. I am unsure about your answer because you are looking shifty. So it's better if we keep looking at the examiner, whoever is asking the question. Yeah. What did you wear during the day of the examination?
I wore very plain, simple, formal clothes. I wore mekhela sador. I forgot the color and all, but it was something that was not catchy. Something very subtle, very sober, and very decent. Sandals and shoes, I don't remember, but they did not make any sound. I did not wear lipstick or anything. I did not wear any long danglers and hanging earrings and all of that. My hair was tied properly. I looked neat and tidy. I looked decent.
Yes, absolutely. And also, আপনি generally interview বা এনেকুৱা board face কৰাৰ আগতে ভয় খায় নে you are a natural in it?
Uh, mm, this is a very interesting question, actually. Ashmita, I need to tell you this. I am a full, these kind of things actually shouldn't be coming into conversations like this, but still, I would like to tell you that I'm a full believer in karma. Like, মই মোৰটো দিম তাৰপিছত যি হয় দেখা যাব সো মই ভাবো মোৰ বাকী বিলাক মোৰ ফ্ৰেণ্ডছৰ বা বাকী মানুহৰ যিমান নাৰ্ভাছনেছ আছিল মোৰ তাতকে ৰিলেটিভলি কম আছিল I was not as nervous. I was nervous, of course, like I'm a very normal human being, but I was not very much খুব বেশি nervous.
মানে you were spiritually handling your nervousness.
Yeah. And one thing I knew that if I had done my mains really well, my really well, I'm using the word really well,
Really
like
well.
if my marks have really shot up, then Viva alone cannot stop me. I was sure of that.
So, number one point is somewhere if you spiritually handle your nervousness, you will be much more calmer when you enter the board.
Yeah.
And second, যদি নিজৰ performance নিজৰে নিজে analyze কৰি লয়, then somehow you will be in a set of of confidence মানে one bar of confidence you'll already have.
Yeah.
Okay. So now as we have covered interview, we'll again go back to the basics. What made you come to civil services?
That's a long story actually. Being a student of geography, বহুত বেশি options নাছিলেও বা আজিও নাই mostly academics. Most of my friends are now called professors in colleges as civil services. আৰু তেনেকে maybe some have also taken up pursued law as well. So মোৰ first ইণ্টাৰেষ্টটো হৈছিলে যেতিয়া মই মাষ্টাৰ ডিগ্ৰী কৰি আছিলো তেতিয়া আমাৰ কটন কলেজৰ যিজন হেড অফ দ্য ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট অফ জিঅ'গ্ৰাফি কটন কলেজ তেখেতৰ নামটো বি কে কলিতা আছিল ভূপেন চন্দ্ৰ কলিতা ছাৰে মোক কৈছিলে যে এটা কোচিং চলিছে আহিবি জাষ্ট ফিউ অফ আছ 2-3 অফ আছ সেইটোৰ যে আহি কোচিং কৰিবি চানমাৰীত আছিলে কিন্তু মই এইটো কৰিব নোৱাৰিলো কাৰণ কি মই গুৱাহাটী ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিত তোমাৰ মাষ্টাৰ ডিগ্ৰী কৰি আছিলো গুৱাহাটী ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি চ' ইটছ কোৱাইট ফাৰ অৱে চানমাৰী আই ইউজ টু ষ্টে ইন আ হোষ্টেল So মই নোৱাৰিলো that was the first interest click যোনটো মানে first আচ্ছা okay তাৰপিছত মই যোনটো ভাবো যে মই Ashmita, to be very honest, I really enjoyed the process of মানে এই civil service process যে নতুন নতুন বস্তু শিকিলো ন, constitution, economy, world politics. Somehow, I don't know, maybe it's destiny or something. Of course, I wanted to serve the, but that is one thing because as a child also, I always wanted to be a doctor, nothing else. Because the sense of service was always there in me. And this is, of course, an opportunity to serve the people. But how I hung on to this whole thing was because I was really enjoying the process of becoming a civil servant. I mean, studying, knowing different things, world history, world geography, and all of that. So I think that is it. I mean, this is not an exact answer to your question, but that is how it is. Arun.
Understood. And যেতিয়া আপুনি when you started to prepare, because there is one question in the chat box কি এতিয়াৰ পৰা কেনেকে prepare কৰিলে prelims clear হ'ব, give me a proper strategy and schedule. So যদি we are completely newbie, like কোনো একো we have never studied
Okay.
properly before, and today is day one of my preparation. Let us go to your day one of
Okay.
preparation. Like how you started from your day one to prepare.
I won't be able to recall my day
Day
one
one.
or day one,
হা,
but মই এটা কথা ক'ব পাৰো যে মই I'll be a little elaborate in
yes,
answering
yes,
this
sure,
question.
sure, sure.
যেতিয়া মোৰ মাষ্টাৰ ডিগ্ৰী কমপ্লিট হ'ল, তাৰপিছত মই এটা ক্ৰেছ কোৰ্চ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে দিল্লী গৈছিলো। ভেৰি ব্ৰিফ 3 to 4 months মানে তোমাৰ ক্ৰেছ কোৰ্চেছ হয় দিল্লীত। তাতে মই বহুত বস্তু টু ডু বস্তু বহুত শিকিলো এণ্ড টু নট ডু বস্তু বহুত শিকিলো। তাতে I got introduced to whole এইবিলাক গোটেই বস্তুবিলাক তোমাৰ যে লক্ষ্মীকান্ত cover to cover পঢ়িব লাগিব, NCERTs you have to be very thorough and all of that. সেই 3-4 মাহত মই সেই বস্তুখিনি উঠালো। And I started very late, of course, after my masters, but I started with the very basics. Like তোমাৰ NCERT পৰাই start কৰিছিলো মই। And geography, of course, মোৰ নিজৰ subject হয়, so geography was easier, but বাকী বস্তু যোনবিলাক তোমাৰ economics, polity and environment আমি geography যথেষ্টখিনি পঢ়োৱে, history and all, এইবিলাক বস্তু with NCERTs I started. So
So we started with NCERTs, then we went on to build the foundation.
yeah,
We went on to build the building.
মই এইখিনিতে এটা কথা কম, I would like to interrupt you.
Sure.
Delhi যোনটো সেই সৰু টাইম আছিলে, তাতে see, one thing I realized that Delhi is a lot of noise.
It is.
Momos, paratha, more than the work, it's lot of noise.
Yes.
And it's not, if you're not a Delhi, that thaki pelai mane, if you're not permanently, your family is not there, it's very difficult, like staying in a hostel, and then it অকমান difficult হৈ যায়. So তাতে হিন্দুৰ বহুত বস্তুটো মানে the হিন্দু পঢ়িবৰ কাৰণে, because I was also originally aspiring for মানে UPSC.
UPSC.
I had missed prelims by some 12 marks. So that was my only attempt. তাৰপিছত মই try নকৰিলো, I started for my journey I had set forth for APSC then. So তোমাৰ তেতিয়া the হিন্দুখন বিৰাট মানে এইটো পঢ়িবতো কয় for UPSC. So যেতিয়া মই initial daysত যেতিয়া start কৰিছিলো, তেতিয়া I realized যে be it the Hindu or the newspaper, you cannot understand the newspaper unless and until your basics are clear. Because তাতে they will not explain to you the concepts.
Yes.
So কিছুমান বস্তু মানে বহুত মানুহে নকয়, but they like read the newspaper, but তুমি যেতিয়া when you go to read the editorial page to understand it and to frame questions out of those editorial pages, first your concepts have to be there. So মই মই actually বহুত বস্তু নিজৰ মোক, because I was not into any proper coaching নাছিলে, so বহুত বস্তু মই নিজে ঠেকা খাই পেলাই শিকিছো। চবে কোৱা শুনিলো হিন্দু পঢ়িব লাগে, হিন্দু পঢ়িতো একো বুজি পোৱা নাই। So then I understood যে তেনেকে নহয়, things have to go in a certain way. So I have to do my basics first and then I have to take up a newspaper. So like that. First was, of course, তোমাৰ NCERTs.
Then we went on to papers, because I totally agree with you. ময়ো দিল্লীত আছিলো. Although I love Delhi because মই নিজে এটা noisy মানুহ. You know that already. I'm a very noisy person, so I vibed with Delhi completely. But when I went to Delhi, I realized that মই বহুত পিছত আছো. I'm a
Yeah,
lot.
I realized the same, yeah.
Yes,
বহুত
yes.
people. and the quantum of and the the information and the কিতাপৰ যোনটো মানে তোমাৰ sources আছে ইমান কোনটো select কৰিবা কি কৰিবা, it is so confusing actually.
Very, very, very,
That
very. আৰু তাতে গৈ I see every person is preparing for UPSC and
yeah,
everybody is like 2 to 3 years ahead of me.
yeah,
I am the last person who
yeah,
is doing preparation there.
yeah. And but then you will know যে আপনি গম পাব যে যোনকেইটা সেই মমো ষ্টেণ্ডত ৰখি পেলাই পাৰাঠা ষ্টলত you don't find, but they do a lot of talking, but you will
Yes,
not find toppers there
yes, yes, yes. They will just talk.
talk. So these
Serious
are the
people nahi
graduates.
hai. Oh,
Yeah. So সেইটো বস্তু মই শিকিলো আৰু সেইটো মই because I used to be a teacher at some of the coaching institutes in Guwahati. I used to tell my students ki uh, a lot of people, right after classes they'll waste 1-2 hours just having momos and discussing the change in syllabus.
yes, yes.
The কথাটো হ'ল যে syllabus has not changed for just you. It has
Mm,
changed for all of us. So you
everyone.
adjust accordingly. There's no point like bickering about things that are not in our hands.
Yes.
So তেনেকে বহুতখিনি বস্তু শিকিলো, তাৰপিছত I cleared my basics and then I got onto the newspaper and accordingly. First সেই ফেজটো অলপ দিগদাৰ হয় যেতিয়া unknown subject এটা first পঢ়া start কৰো, but তাৰ পিছত as the basics become clear, তাৰ পিছত things become revisional becomes easier.
How cliche question? আপনি দিনত how did you have a schedule? Like how did you study? বা আপনি randomly পঢ়ি গৈছিলে depending on stuff to
Okay.
cover?
Okay, so basically I was working. So after my মই দিল্লীৰ পৰা অহাৰ পিছত they used to also মোৰ এই দুটাই কোচিঙৰ নামত মোৰ এই দুটাই আছিলে। এটা ষ্টাফ কলেজত এটা কোচিং দিছিলে এজন ছাৰ আছিলে দিলীপ শৰ্মা বুলি, was the head of the economics department কটন কলেজৰ। Are you aware of that, Ashmita?
I know that there is a coaching which is generally in staff college,
That's free
but
of cost. Only the
okay,
examination fees they take. So I
it
qualified for that, and but then I realized that that is also not going to be very
not
useful
sufficient.
because they bring in college professors, and college professors are not designed to teach you, coach you for civil
Civil
services. It's
services,
totally different.
absolute agreement, absolute agreement.
It's pretty different because my college, Cotton College, I was from Cotton College in Guwahati University. Professors came in and they used to deliver the lectures as if but you don't need experts for civil services. You need to do all the subjects.
Generalize. You
Yeah,
need to be a general expert, not a
expert. Yeah,
specialized expert.
expert. So Hetu Erilu, then I started working. I used to be a school teacher at Maharishi. So for me, after doing it was like a simultaneous thing. Like I used to work and study. But once the main prelims ka result came out, I left my job totally. And for 2.5 months, I only studied. How many hours? Don't ask me. You can tell me like I studied throughout the day. I only studied
So
because
there is no alternative to studying the whole day. That is a fact that I
yeah,
think,
yeah. But
everyone who has cleared the exam has common about that.
yeah, but মই এটা কথা কওঁ, মই অকল 2.5 months পঢ়ি পেলাই এক্সামটো ক্লিয়াৰ কৰিছো, that doesn't mean this exam is easy. মই সেইটো পাৰিছো because I had already been prepared. My base was already done. That is the reason why my examৰ আগত 2 মাহ পঢ়ি পেলাই I cleared the exam. But if you're a beginner and you read throughout the day just for 2 months, no, it's not going to work.
So your journey actually started quite a couple of years back. তো
Yeah,
আপনি তেতিয়াৰ পৰা অলপ পঢ়ি আছিলে, and
yeah,
then after you cleared your prelims আপনি full throttle examৰ হেৰিটোত
yeah,
involve হৈ গ'ল.
yeah.
But আৰু এটা very important, very interesting thing যে you were a working professional when you cleared
Yeah,
your prelims.
yeah,
আৰু working professional সকলৰ বহুত অসুবিধা হয়, like
yeah,
বহুত অসুবিধা. They can't
yeah,
manage both, and specifically মানে in today's world when everyone is running some kind of a race in their own job, it becomes very difficult. আপুনি
yeah.
working professional হৈ থাকোতে how did you handle the phase?
Like I said, for me, while I was working, because like I also I would like to tell you, I had once written UPSC prelims also, which I missed by like around 12 marks. So my basics were done because right after my masters, like few months I had devoted few months to just
Or
civil
UPSC?
service, yeah, for civil services. So with working, it was, and also because I was with my family, it was relatively easier. I would come from school, and in the evening I would study for like 3-4 hours, and it was like that.
So it was the presence of family আপোনাৰ হেৰিটো অলপ ease up কৰি দিলে
যথেষ্ট কৰে সেইটো বহুত এটা মানে at least you need to surround during these phases of your life. You need to surround, firstly you have to cut down on your social life, but you have to surround yourself with people who are supportive, who are positive. So I used to go to work, I used to come back, food was given to me. I had no other, বেলেগ মোৰ চিন্তা নাছিলে, মা পাপা ঘৰত আছিলে, মা পাপাৰ লগতে যিহেতু আছিলো, চ' আহি পেলাই পঢ়ো, নেক্সট ডে স্কুল যাওঁ, চ' মোৰ কাৰণে ভাল আছিলে। আৰু মোৰ আৰু এটা সুবিধা এইটো আছিলে যে মই কোচিং চেণ্টাৰটো পঢ়াইছিলো, মই মানে চ' সেইকাৰণেও এটা মোৰ ভাল আছিল যে মই স্কুলত পঢ়াবৰ কাৰণে আৰু কোচিং চেণ্টাৰত পঢ়াবৰ কাৰণে মই অলৰেডি পঢ়িব লাগে। So I was already in the, the habit of studying and sitting down. সেই বস্তুটো মোৰ তাত, it was there like throughout this whole thing. That was very
আৰু
helpful.
being a teacher, that is a little bit of advantage, Feynman technique. আপুনি
Mm.
যিহেতু নিজে পঢ়াবৰ কাৰণে পঢ়িছে,
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
helps a lot in your own revision.
yeah, it does. I will admit it does.
Yeah. So আপুনি যেতিয়া prelims ৰ কাৰণে prepare কৰি আছিলে, did you had a prelims only approach নে prelims plus mains approach?
See, again, I have to be honest. I never targeted my exams as prelims. Like, I had a holistic approach. My goal was like I have to clear the exam, not prelims or something. So
Mains, yeah.
it was like I studied like, it was a very holistic approach.
That is, I also had the same approach, not prelims, mains, and this, because exam to clear korbo lage. That is what should be. So prelims to hole, mains no hole kya fayda? Duitai hobo lagibo, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So যেতিয়া আপুনি prelims ৰ কাৰণে prepare কৰিছিলে, did you give MCQs, মানে mock tests এনেকুৱা দিছিলে নে?
Not really. I will. These are, see. Again, I have to
Our
be
time
honest.
these were not very prevalent also.
Yeah, and but my this is something I really regret. I'm very happy with where I am now, but I strongly feel that my rank would have improved had I taken help. My na mains, na prelims, na interview, I had not gone for a single mock test, but I now regret it. I should have. It is very, it's a necessity. You need mock interviews, you need mock tests, you need mock because like I said, মোৰ যদি ইণ্টাৰভিউ, যদি মই মক ইণ্টাৰভিউ ললো হয়, মই তাতে গম পালো হয় যে মই অসমৰ কথা বহুতখিনি নাজানো। I would have prepared accordingly. মোৰ বাকীখিনি ষ্ট্ৰং হলে, মোৰ history was always weak. So সেইটো মই, mistakes like that, everyone has mistakes, so I have learned, which is too late now, but still, but it
But
is
you
very,
are there where you
yeah.
are. You are there where you are supposed to be already.
Yeah, but yes, I do regret not taking mock tests, be it for prelims or mains or interview. One should go for mock tests.
Yeah. So যেতিয়া আপনি prelims clear কৰিলে, then you went ahead for mains.
Mm.
So like আপুনি কিবা নিজৰ strategy to change আনিছিলে যে prelims মানে যেতিয়া আমি mains ৰ কাৰণে prepare কৰিম, we will go a little deeper, বা আমি নিজৰ subject matter টোৰ ওপৰত অলপমান জ্ঞানটো deeper কৰিম, and we
Okay.
will do answer writings. Did we have a change of strategy?
Well, again, for prelims, I did not have any strategy because, like I told you, it was always deep. Like, I never prepared for prelims. It was always for this holistic thing. Any topic I picked up, I would study like from A to Z for that particular topic. So strategy, মোৰ কাৰণে strategy change was different because more time অকল সেইটো 2 months asile, আৰু I had to select a second option. Remember, we had
Yes,
two
yes,
options.
we had two optionals.
Yes. For me, one was obvious geography, and the other one was I selected political science. That was because, again, strategizing things is very important. It's because এখন paper to only for Indian polity. So we anyway study Lakshmikant cover to cover. So more এখন paper sorted. এখন was on political science. So মই বহুত ভাবি চিন্তি কৰিলো, তেনেকে political science pick up কৰিলো. So মই actually prepare কৰিব কাৰণে political science এখন paper prepare কৰিলে মানে হৈ গৈছিল because এখনটো লক্ষ্মীকান্তটো বহুত হয়।
লক্ষ্মীকান্তে হৈ যায় আছিলে, হা।
And subject wise, যেনেকে history week more. So again, I had strategized. যে মই কোনখিনি বস্তুৰ কোনখিনি চালে কোনখিনি আহিব। So subject wise, মই বস্তুখিনি অলপ Assam centric আৰু কিছুমান এতিয়া মই পাহৰিছো, But yes, I had a very detailed, elaborate strategy.
আৰু there are two opinions about weaknesses. যেনেকে যদি আমি if I am weak on one subject, one approach can be যে মই সেই weakness টো head on handle কৰো, সেইটো improve কৰো, then মই বাকি যোনবিলাকত already ভাল হয় সেইটোত improvement কৰো. And the other strategy is I will improve the ones যোনটোত মই already ভাল হয় so much যে মোৰ অলপমান weak থাকাটো মই যেন তেনে অলপমান handle কৰি গলে হ'ল. Which approach was yours? Like you handled it head on, or you worked on the rest of your strengths more?
I did not have enough time to take it head on. Okay, I had more time constraint asile, and it varies from person to person, Ashmita. Like মোৰ যিখিনি history weak point asile, I tried to break it down. যে কোনটো এক্সটেন্টৰ লৈকে I can overcome, মই যোনটো এক্সটেন্টৰ লৈকে মই পাৰিলো overcome কৰিব, I did. আৰু যিখিনি নোৱাৰিলো, but I never compromised on my strengths. I always kept them going. But
So
যিখিনি
you, Kok.
So
Sorry to
I
interrupt.
think it depends, it varies from person to person. Yate eta bostu hai luck factor. Jeneke, because my history was weak, but again, luck always doesn't mane support you. In the mains, there were very minor, very small history questions which I handled, but then my vivat mark khai golo. So luck will not always support you, but it does support you. Jeneke mains ot more jodi major history questions ahi gul hoy.
তেতিয়া অলপ খেলি মেলি হ'ব পৰা
অলপ
chance.
মই সেইটো অলপ যোগাৰ কৰিব লাগিল হয়, বাট সেইটোৱে আৰু সো যিমান পাৰে মানুহে যিহেতু লাগতিয়াল বস্তু, ইউ নেভাৰ নো এবাউট লাক এণ্ড অল, ইউ শুড নেভাৰ অকল লাকৰ ভৰসাত বহি থাকিব নালাগে, বাট যিমান পাৰে কাভাৰ আপ কৰিব ট্ৰাই কৰিব লাগে কেপেবিলিটি, বাট সেইটো কৰিব যাওঁতে নিজৰ ষ্ট্ৰেংথছ খিনিটো যাতে কম্প্ৰমাইজ হৈ নাযায়, বিকজ আল্টিমেটলি টাইম ফেক্টৰটো হেৰি কৰে. Is what I would suggest.
Did you practice answer writing?
That is again a very
I get it.
I regret I regret not taking up mock mains test.
Answer writings and stuff.
লিখিলো, ইয়াতে এটা মই কথা কম যে মই কি ভাবিছিলো যে my mind is anyway, because my mind was already programmed, because I was into reading Hindu. My mind was already programmed. Like my examine, critically examine, elaborate, explain কোনটো answer, কোনটো approach কৰিব লাগে, I knew. My analytical mind was already developed. However, what I missed out on je answer writing practice nokorle je speed nahe, সেই বস্তুটো I missed out. So because of not doing answer writing practice, I more accept এখন paper, বাকি প্রত্যেকখন paper এখনো মানে there were around how many papers we had?
We had GS, we had two optional, each 4, 5 English paper, 6 papers I think.
6 papers, my 5খন paper I have not completed on. Like olop সদায় থাকি গৈছে except for one paper, and I regret it most because I knew the answers, but given the fact that মোৰ হাতত speed নাছিলে, মই writing practice নকৰিলো, সেইটো কাৰণে মোৰ complete নহল answer কেইটা. So but answer writing practice is a must. In fact, মানে বহুত বস্তু মানে although it might not be clear in your head, but once you start writing, it becomes clearer. It is a must. It is like I cannot give you
cannot emphasize it enough
yeah, how important is answer writing.
Exactly. মানে ইয়াতে আমাৰ chat box এর একটা question আইছে, ma'am, how to think analytical answers instantly, like how to analyze itu আমি কেনেকে develop কৰিম, because recently আমাৰ mains result দিলে, and this time paper was very analytical, তো বহুত ল'ৰা ছোৱালী তাত অলপমান পিছত থাকি গ'ল, so সেইটো development কেনেকে কৰিব পাৰে ল'ৰা ছোৱালী, how to think analytically?
Exactly, সেইটো overnight develop নহয়, that happens through months of practice. যেনেকে for example, let's say মই এটা কম, you pick up a topic যোনটো আজি just government mention কৰিছে, then you follow that issue for the following months, and সেই ইস্যুটো যেতিয়া বাঢ়ি গৈ আছে, তাৰপিছত এনেকুৱা এটা কনচিকুৱেঞ্চত গ'ল যেতিয়া এডিটৰিয়েল পেজত তাৰ কথা লিখিলে, then you know that that topic is important. So what has been your opinion throughout as this issue had progressed over these months? তোমাৰ আপোনাৰ মাইণ্ডটোৱে কেনেকে এইটো ভাবি আছে, because you also you're reading something in the newspaper, but you're also having your own thought process, right?
Yes.
So how have you been analyzing it? How do you see it? As a positive thing or a negative? If positive, why? If negative, why? So analytical mind will not develop overnight.
What
It's not something you get in the examination hall. It is something you'll have to develop through
over
practice
time?
over time. Yeah.
So apuni like you developed it through reading news. আৰু
Yeah.
নিউজ পঢ়ি আপুনি নিজৰ অপিনিয়ন এটা নিজে ফৰ্ম কৰিলে যে এইটো ৰাইট হয় নে ৰং হয়।
Yeah.
So
Because subject.
students
Yeah. Tell me.
so students সেনেকেই যদি approach কৰে rather than taking some other person's analysis, যদি নিজে analysis কৰি
Yeah.
পেলাই right or wrong চাব যায়, do you think
Yeah.
it will help them better?
200%. See, এটাটো হ'ল subject or questions. এতিয়া geography যোনটো কিতাপত লিখা আছে describe the physiographic divisions of India. তো সেইটোতো আৰু there's nothing to analyze.
Analyze.
কিন্তু এটা দুটা থাকে যে ডিসকাস বা ক্ৰিটিক এনেকে ক'লে ধৰা উইথ কোট ইউ হেভ টু পুট আ ডায়াগ্ৰাম মাৰ্কছৰ ডিভিজন তাতে অকণমান থাকে বাট ৰিয়েল এনালিটিকেল মাইণ্ডটো উইল কাম ফ্ৰম দি এনালাইজিং দি কাৰেণ্ট এফেয়াৰ্ছ আৰু আই অলৱেজ চে ডেভেলপ ইয়ৰ ওন মাইণ্ড বিকজ দেট ইজ অলছ' গোইং টু হেল্প ইউ ইন ইয়ৰ ইণ্টাৰভিউ বেলেগৰ পইণ্ট অফ ভিউ যদি হয় that's going to crash you in your interview if you don't have your own mind.
Because students, what we have observed, because I have quit service only in May loge to I was an officer only. তেতিয়া আমি realized no but once I have quit service and got inside, I have seen যে students have actually stopped using our mind a lot and they have started because বহুত source আহি গৈছে। Internet hawk, books hawk, so they have stopped using their mind. Ready-made bostu pabo, they will eat and they will perform. But this ready-made bostu pabo, khabo or exam or gole, they will not be able to analyze koribo to nuaribo.
Aru also, if question to Judy, if it's a little twisted, the same thing, they will never be able to figure out exactly what the examiner is asking.
Yes.
But had you been using your own mind, irrespective of how the question is put, you know exactly how to answer that question.
Yes, and for that we need to sharpen our mind by our sense.
Yeah.
I mean, নিজে ভাবিব লাগিব, like you said, keep news এটা চালো, এটোৰ মানে কি, এটোৰ পৰা আৰু কি হ'ব পাৰে। Because if we do not have an analytical set of mind, আমি ইন্টাৰভিউত যেনেকৈ আপোনাক সাবৰিমালা সুধিলে, আপোনাৰ যদি এনালাইসিস নাথাকিলে আপুনি কেনেকৈ আনসাৰ দিলে হয় on that?
Yeah.
You have an analytical set of mind, so you have to answer beautifully.
Yeah.
So itu बहुत important. I keep on saying this to my students. It's good that I have got a validation from a friend and an officer who have said the same, because itna noise now. Guwahati has become also quite noisy. There are a lot of sources. There are a lot of places. So केतबा मोरू शक हो जाए मैं ठीक है कोई ऐसा नहीं. But then I get validation and I'm like, okay, ठीक है. So whatever I'm saying is going in the right way. Yeah. Now I will ask you, যে books আপনি কি বানকা special book you were referred to or the normal standard set of books that you referred to?
Standard set of books, but newspaper is mandatory.
Okay. And এটা বস্তু আপনার পৰা মই গমেই পালো that you have failed before, like you failed the UPSC prelims. So how good are you in handling failure and how do you overcome failure?
Like I said, I believe in like karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. I totally believe in that. It's all right. There's nothing wrong in failing, and slow success, it always builds your character. So I'm totally fine with failing and then succeeding. There's no harm. Beya lage olop somoy, but I don't become jealous or envious of it. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own story. So that's all right. At least I have a shelter. I have food. I have hands. I have eyes. I'm thankful for that.
So you handle failure with gratitude.
Yeah, I do.
So do you think that a person who's not very spiritual, like you and I are very spiritual people, so we can take it up like that. But someone who is more like, non-spiritual or more objective based or more like practical. So would you like to give an advice how to handle failure?
Okay. Someone who's practical and so much, practically speaking, যদি practically ক'ব লাগে তেতিয়াহ'লে if you are practical, you should know that if you have competed in something, if you're into a competition, there are only two things: either you fail or
you pass.
And it is not necessary, you are not special, that you always will have to succeed.
Yes.
Another person is as special as you are. So you
And
know.
if the person, other person has passed, there's something যোনটো বেলেগ মানুহজনে কিবা এটাতো ঠিক কৰিছে.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we cannot go on যে এনেই পালে মই পাব লাগিছে. We cannot go into that.
Yes, yes, yes. No, this is something I used to tell even earlier when I used to be a teacher at coaching institute. That বেলেগে কি কৰিছে, be it positive, be it negative, never compare. ভাল হোক বেয়া হোক, you look at yourself. Like I said, everyone has a different story, different background, different things. Somebody might have been an underdog earlier and now has succeeded. So that person has done something right, which is 1%. Somewhere he has gone better than you, and you have
Yes.
to admit it. And
Yes.
grace lies in that, you know.
Then only we will be able to handle the failure and go ahead in life.
Yeah, and if the person cannot be happy for a friend's success, then who else? Then how can you expect somebody else to be happy for your
For
success?
you, yes. And that shows your character. And anyways, once you get inside civil service, you need to be happy for other people. You're
Yeah,
working for other people. If you can't be
yeah,
happy for them, then
yeah,
you'll not be happy ki kamar ghar bani ase.
yeah,
Jealous for that. How are
yeah,
you going to be a civil servant, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And the key, Ashmita, what I always say is look at yourself, not others, be it for positive or negative. নিজৰটো চালে হ'ল, বাকী কোনে কাৰোবাৰ ভাল হৈছে বেয়া হৈছে, just
doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. If
Yeah,
you fail, then something has gone wrong. If you've succeeded, good thing.
yeah. And had you been distracted ever in your journey? Like কেতিয়াবা distraction হৈছে বা কেতিয়াবা demotivated হৈছে, I don't want to do this, বহুত হৈ গয়া.
Yeah.
Some
Dis-
have you ever faced
yeah,
that?
yeah. Distraction মোৰ কেতিয়াও হোৱা নাই. I've always been very focused. Uh, yes. কিন্তু এইটো যোনটো the word you use, what was the word you used?
Demotivation.
Demotivation. Yeah, that has happened many times. Jitya, when I set a target, like I have 5 days to complete this much, only if this and this happens, then this much I'll be able to complete. And I don't succeed. বহুত এনেকুৱা হয়, কিমান পঢ়িম, কেতিয়াবা কেতিয়াবা friends are chilling, I see that wow, they're having a life. বহুত এনেকুৱা moments আহে, but then again সেইটোৱে বস্তু আহে, I cannot compare myself to anyone, be it for good things or bad things. Demotivated হৈছো, but I have kept myself going আৰু give myself a break and then kept myself going.
So আজি তো we are almost we মানে কি I am some few months behind you, but we have already completed 5 months 5 years inside the
Yeah,
service. So
yeah.
how do you feel after 5 years inside the service?
uh I'm okay, I'm good, I'm happy. uh মই বহুত বস্তু as the journey has progressed, বহুত বস্তু উপলব্ধি কৰিছো, বহুত বস্তু বহুত কিছুমান ভাল এস্পেক্টও আছে, কিছুমান বেয়া এস্পেক্ট আছে। মোৰ ভাল লাগে যেতিয়া when I help someone. And Ashmita, you've kind of sort of gone.
Yeah, 1 second. I might like it off. Yeah. Just you keep on saying. Huh?
Yeah, yeah. So I there's certain very good things when you're able to help people, when you're about to, when you work for long hours, it gives you satisfaction. But there's one aspect with which I'm really I'm a little dissatisfied. It's staying away from your family. You know, like I live here alone. I had been living alone for last 5 years. You know, meeting your family, the things are never certain. You know, leaves and all. So that is the only complaint I have. Rest I'm good.
That I also had, and I am still doing my business. I thought it would be different, but it's the same.
Yeah.
I think it is adulting.
Yeah,
Adult life doesn't allow you. I think so. It's
yeah,
it's the same in every job that we are
yeah.
having.
But again, having said that, I would say that pros and cons will be in every job. If this job has this, another job will have another, downside.
Yes,
So
yes,
if I'm getting something, somewhere I have to give something.
totally, totally.
It's a package.
Yeah. এতিয়া মোক এটা বস্তু কওক, if you look behind, আপুনি actually answer to মোক ক'লেই, but still I'll ask you the same thing ki once if you look behind at your journey, that the whole preparation phase and everything, one thing that what would you have done differently?
One thing that I would have done differently is that I would have gotten some help. I should have taken help, which I really regret, not because Ashmita, you are a friend who has opened a coaching center, not
I
that. I
understand.
agree that only a coaching, again, having said that again, just a coaching center cannot make you a civil servant.
Yes, I
But
totally agree.
yeah, that is 200%. But it can be very, it can be a big instrument in bringing about your success. I truly regret not taking up mock tests. I regret.
So you think having a good mentor, I will not even use the word coaching center
Yeah,
because I don't behave like a
you.
entrepreneur. I sometimes behave like a teacher, and
Mm,
my team members they keep telling, "Bah, apuni entrepreneur hai. Let's think about business a little bit."
yeah,
I'm like, yes, yes, okay, I
yeah,
will have to think. But
yeah,
what do I very well tell people that having a mentor is
yeah.
extremely important, and that
I,
mentor doesn't necessarily need to be a professional person, can be a
I
friend.
agree. I totally agree. 200%. Somebody who can guide you, somebody who can
Yeah.
listen to you, somebody who can, because problems vary for, it's different for different people. So somebody who understands you and accordingly helps you, it is necessary. I
Yes.
I regret not having one, not have chosen one. I should have.
You already have answered the question, but there is one question in the chat box ki ma'am, what is your educational background? You've already answered that, but hudi se karne mo aare ba
I
hudi.
got a master's degree in geography.
Okay. And another question came, which I don't know how well we will be able to answer. Ki ma'am, APS officer hobale kiman rank lage?
That
That
that is that it too mane
varies.
varies. No, that's not like
Fix
it.
na
It
hoy.
also depends upon what are your preferences. Like when we fill in the
DAF form. Huh.
form, yeah, কি prefer কৰিছে applicant জনে বা candidate জনে আৰু সেইটো বছৰ vacancy কিমান, তো সেইটো ওপৰত depend কৰিব।
Our time on call, I think Tinjon 3 APS.
আছিল
Very less, very
yes,
less.
yeah.
Then I think it got increased to equivalent to ACS.
Yeah.
But Itya, I will just ask, Itya, to kafi lamba we had this conversation. I think we already had conversed for about 40 to 45 minutes. So
Okay.
I will ask you one final question, then I will have a chat with you over phone. I will ask you,
Yeah.
what is one advice that you want to give to the students who are preparing or about to prepare for civil service?
মই তিনিটা কথা ক'ম যোনটো মই সদায় কওঁ। First thing is believe in yourself. uh, how you look, where you come from, doesn't matter if you're from IIT or IIM or a medicine student. If you come from a remote village in Dibrugarh or from Nolbari, even if your parents are not well off, it really doesn't matter. As long as you believe that you can do something, you will be able to crack the exam. Number two, there has to be commitment. If you want to do it, you have to do it. For that you need dedication. So commitment and dedication has to be there. And thirdly, perseverance. There will be times when you will be demotivated, you will want to give up, but you have to hold on to. If these three things are there, nothing can stop you.
So, Rituparna, it was very, very nice. And like I always say, I'm a very jumpy, noisy person. So, when that jumpy, noisy person's opinion is matching with a matured opinion, then
Mm,
I also feel ensured that, "Acha, theek hai, I'm guiding people in the right direction." I feel validated on that. So, thank you for being you. And thank you for giving me your very precious 45 minutes. And I know you're very busy. तो I had to like pluck out time कि मुझे time देना ही पड़ेगा. I was like this when I asked you. I was this pushy person, but thank you for giving me your time, and I'm very very confident कि whoever has watched us and watched for this 45 minutes will get a clear-headed opinion of how things are actually going to be. Like I keep saying, there is a lot of noise, and
mm,
when successful people speak, those noise somewhere kept keep quiet and the real
mm,
picture starts coming up. Hence, I
yeah.
wanted you to speak to my students. So, thank you, Rituparna. I'll
Thank you
be
so much,
ending the
Asmita.
live now.
Okay.
And I hope that someday when you drop down to Guwahati, please come to my academy and we'll meet. We have not met for a very
For a
long.
really long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Please, when you come down to Guwahati, give me a call or someday I'll
Yeah,
go
sure.
and then
And I
we'll
really hope that this brief conversation, whatever we had, students of all of college at a benefit for it. I really hope for that. And thank you so much to you and Gandhi for having me here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Rituparna. Thank you. I'll
Thank you.
be closing the live now.
Yeah, okay.